Hello everyone, this is Clausius and I'm back with another Starcraft 2 video and another video in our beginner Terran series. So let's go ahead and start this game. Today we're going to be looking at adding on tanks for defense. And tanks are actually really powerful and really good for having that defense to protect you from like that early pressure and stuff. And it also gives us something to do with our factory. Cat, go away. I was just playing with the cat like before the video, and now the cat won't leave me alone. Mistakes were made. Okay, so we're gonna still try to keep up with our original lessons, which is hopefully don't get supply blocked. Keep our barracks, do that fast expand, and everything. All right. Okay, get that out.
What's going on?
Get that second SCV going. And pretty soon we're actually going to start adding scouting, but not quite this video.
You scared me.
Alright.
Go ahead. SCV ready.
Get that command center going, and don't miss those SCVs. You really don't want to miss those.
Additional support.
Nope. We want build barracks, and then build refinery and SCV. Put that on 4, and shift click that there, and make another SCV, and then watch for the gas to finish.
SCV ready. In the rear.
Get that on there, and we're just doing that same opening pattern from last time. Alright, got the SCV, and it looks like 2 more SCVs because you can just look at the barracks timing. And then we'll start focusing on this guy.
In the rear. SCV ready.
Alright, and go build. Actually, nope. Oh, that didn't finish quite in time, so let's do that. Reactor, and now we build our command center. So all I did was make that an orbital, add on the reactor, and let's go ahead and immediately get our second supply, because we will need that very quickly. Add that to our hotkey. Go ahead and lower that. Alright, and then from here we can get our second gas, and start working on our factory. Alright. Alright, and now get our Marines, start our double Marine production, get 1 SCV out here for that bunker, and if you can hear the gas sound, the gas is ready, SCV, 2 more Marines, and this is at 12, 13, 14. Alright, so that's 15, so 1 more SCV up here, and then we'll move the hotkey. Alright, got our stuff queued up, and now this guy is going to work on the starport. And we're actually going to put a reactor on the starport. I'm not sure if I mentioned this last time or not. I think it did. Alright, now get Marines up here, there.
Not enough minerals.
Make that an orbital. You guys come here and patrol. Okay, and 2 more for that. Alright, and now I believe... yep, that's all good. And now I need another supply because we're catching up. So you actually have an option here of building it behind or blocking off the ramp. If you're facing Zerg, you pretty much want to block off the ramp almost every time. I'm not worrying about it right now, simply because I'm not worried about it. But if you were, you would block off the ramp, and the bunker would be a good defense. Alright, so now we're going to get our 2 medevacs. You guys. Right here. Alright, I missed what unit was. I'm going to bring my Marines down here, because And if you've seen the last couple of videos, I have been experiencing some pressure. Not from over here, but from down here. So I'm going to put them down here. Alright, do have too many up here. So 49 out of 54. Definitely need another supply. Maybe 2 supplies. Alright, get the SCVs. And let's go ahead and put a tech lab on that tank. And build 2 more Marines. Got that. And now I have a lot of minerals, and I don't like that. So I'm going to build 2 more barracks. And 1 engineering bay. And make a bunch of units.
Add-on complete.
Alright, and now I can start making siege tanks for defense. So here's where we're getting into today's topic, which is the siege tanks. Alright, so this is our opening to get out 2 medevacs at a time in a siege tank. And then after that, we have the 2 barracks building as well to get our stem and everything. And now let's go ahead and get our harassment going. And I'm going to put that on 2. Go! Boost! Boost is just that ability right there. It just makes the medevac go faster. Alright, we will need 2 more gases since we are getting tanks.
Additional supply depots.
And more supply. Thought I just fixed that. I literally just like that. Alright, let's get...
Insufficient Vespine gas.
50 or 100? That's 100. Okay.
Additional supply depots required.
X, C, make 2 more supply. And at this point in the build, you would start making a 3rd, but I'm not going to worry about that in this video because right now I'm just wanting to learn how to defend with 2. So just make sure you're doing...
Add-on complete.
Make sure you're doing at least this much, and this will give you a good opening. And if you wanted to go for a 3rd, you could. Get our upgrades. Get that going, and get that. Now let's do our harassment. Our harassment's a little bit late, mostly because I'm not too used to this build. Alright, the queen can shoot us down, so we want to dodge that queen. The units are already here, so I'm not going to drop.
Ready for dust off.
Instead, I'm going to check over here. Build stuff, build stuff.
Insufficient Vespine gas.
There is not an expansion, so that is very weird. What is... Oh, he's going for a big push. Alright. Let's get out of here and look out for that big push. Alright, you want to spread out your tanks a little bit. So that way they still shoot the same place, but if they're attacking one, splash damage doesn't happen and stuff. Alright, so STEM is still researching.
Additional supply depots.
So this build will take some getting used to. You can see that I'm not used to it because I'm getting supply blocked left and right. So that is not good.
Supply depots required.
And I'm actually going to put 1 up here. So I like to leave 1 tank up here just to support these Marines in case of drops or anything like that. Having like 1 tank up here is good defense. If you don't think you need it, then you can leave it down here. Alright, attack. And you can see we held this pretty easily. Those tanks do great. And the SCVs can actually repair the tanks too. But they attack the bumpers, so I'm not going to worry about it.
Mineral field depleted.
Alright, let's go ahead and dump off here. Good supply. 2.
Upgrade complete. Research.
Stem. Kill the queen. That's the only thing they shoot you out of the... Oh, banelings. Banelings. Those are the little explodey guys. That was a mistake on my part.
ETA 1 minute.
I should have dodged the banelings. But no big deal. No big deal. Alright. Now I think we have a good army. So let's do that. Unload that. Get our army.
Mineral field depleted.
And I'm only bringing this back mostly because of the lack of health. So I will need another harassment. So you in there. And you are new harassment. And you will be in the main army.
This better be good.
No, not you, not you.
Picking up or
Go there.
Mineral field.
ready for dust off.
Reset the hotkey with control. There is a hotkey stealing. And I am learning a new hotkey setup that uses stealing, but don't quite know it with this hotkey, with the basic hotkeys. Alright, so I'm going to leave this here for defense, add you guys to 1, and you go attack.
SCV ready.
Alright. Now we have way too many minerals, so
What's going on? Gangway.
build a third because we're going out to attack, so we can. And build more barracks.
SCV ready.
Get our armory. Or not armory, armor upgrade. Hello. Get this tank out of the way.
Been waiting on you. SCV ready.
Ready for dust off.
Let's put you guys in here.
Who wants some?
Alright. Alright, you.
Where's the emergency?
Boost in
Mineral
and go
field
attack.
depleted.
You guys go here. And so you can actually use the tanks on offense by control click, hit E, put them in siege mode. And if you see an army come attack, you just pull them back to make sure the army attacks in the tank range. You kind of want to fight in that tank range or at the edge of the tank range, which you can see with these little lines. And if the army comes in, you just run back, make them get in tank range, and then attack. And then from there, you can simply play hopscotch with tanks by do that. Move these guys up. Let's put him right here, and him right here. And that's a way to use the tanks for offense.
Mineral field depleted.
Alright, there's that. I do have some changelings in here, but it's not that important. Alright, let's get these up here, because of these little shooty things will shoot your things out of the sky. Put that right there.
Mineral field depleted.
Get in there.
Ready for dust off.
Like that. It's the only thing dealing damage to me.
Upgrade complete.
Alright, and we should be good. Now I can actually move these guys up here. Let's move him right here and shift E. Get this guy. Move him right here and shift E. And we have our army back
Mineral
home.
field depleted.
So we can actually go attack that. Attack that.
And ready. By the number.
Yeah, they just keep coming
Mineral
out.
field
So that was just a 2-base kind of attack, kind of a timing attack. So you can do 3-base while you're attacking. You can get the 3rd base sooner if you had a lot of minerals. So we actually had a ton of minerals. You can see it's a very powerful build. And you actually can get a lot of minerals very quickly. So now that we've added tanks on, now we want to focus on adding more barracks and doing that same marine supply exercise that we did in the first couple videos with tanks and medevacs added on. Simply because once you add on tanks and medevacs, you start getting more and more stuff, so you need to go back to the basics of don't get supply blocked, keep your money low. So we do that with marine supply depots, and we just add on tanks and medevacs with it, and we do that same exercise. So let's go ahead and try that again. And hopefully I can do much better at that, because you can see I did a poor performance of that. Yeah. But let's see how we do against harder. Alright, so let's move up. And I think harder is actually starting to get into the silver range. So if you're bronze and you're getting right here, you actually, you actually could take maybe some silvers. Because I think the harder starts getting into silver, and very hard starts getting into the high silver, and I think elite might be gold. I am not sure. But I played with some silver players, and harder and very hard was about silver level, I think. But we shall see how this goes. But let's try. See, this is a good way to practice opening builds that you learn. Let's just see how this goes. All right, SCV. Let's do our same opening stuff, same opening patterns.
Not enough minerals.
SCV ready.
Not enough minerals.
Supply, reset the waypoint.
Big job.
Eventually, we will get to start adding on scouting where we're actually looking over here while doing the same build. But what's really important is that you can do this build without getting supply capped or a lot of minerals. You can do it without scouting and doing a bunch of stuff, because once you start scouting, it actually gets a lot more difficult to keep your stuff together. So you want to be able to do it within seconds, and have it down to where you pretty much got it completely memorized, and be able to do it without much difficulty. So that way you can add on scouting and other stuff on top of your basic build. And that starts getting really complicated. But we're taking it one step at a time to a very nice big build. Oh, what the crap? Go in there. Taking it one step at a time. And getting us to a good build and good game, and learning the units one unit at a time.
Let's go. SCV ready.
Alright. Not Reaper. Not Reaper. Wrong game. Wrong opening. C. That's what I want. Reaper is usually what you do in the opening, but
Not enough.
we haven't gotten to the Reaper yet, so...
We'll butter my biscuit.
Alright. And now
Not enough
I want
minerals.
a supply depot. And
Not enough minerals.
gas.
Yep.
Command center upgrade. Not enough minerals.
SCV!
SCV ready.
There. There.
Add on.
2. Alright, you come here.
Yo.
About to start
SCV
building the
ready.
factory. Alright, and then go back when you're done. Let's actually get a supply depot over here.
I'm going.
We could build a bunker,
SCV ready.
but I don't think we need it just yet unless they're rushing.
In.
So this supply depot could be a bunker instead, but it would just depend on if they're rushing or not. So if you scouted that your opponent rushed when we learned to scout, then you would build a bunker instead. So you can build a bunker a little bit later. Alright. You come here. Oh, I guess I don't need you. I can just use you.
SCV
Build
ready.
bunker.
Gangway coming through.
Alright. Get that. SCV.
Yes, sir.
Not enough
And let's
minerals.
do starport.
SCV ready.
Get over here.
Big job.
Command center upgrade complete.
Alright, got one over here. 33 to 54, so our supply's good for now.
Boy,
Keep making marines. Those right here.
you gonna give me orders?
Oh,
This
you
better
go
be
up here.
good. Been waiting.
Alright, SCVs could be a little bit better.
Go, go, go.
Alright, lift over here. SCVs. Marines.
SCV ready.
Alright, you lift. Land. We'll need another supply depot.
Roger.
Alright, you come down here.
SCV ready.
Alright, make the medevacs. Set the waypoints. And put a tech lab on this. And since I have 300, 2 more
Go
barracks.
ahead.
And let's put them over here.
We'll butter my biscuit.
CVs.
Go, go, go.
49 out of 54. Put another supply. And then 2.
Add on complete.
Two more
SCV
gas.
ready.
Alright, and get those barracks on the hotkeys. Put them down here.
Ready for dust off.
Get a tank for defense. And
Awesome.
that is supposed to be down here. Except for 2 of you.
SCV ready.
Go! Okay, get another tank.
Coming.
Get some more minerals.
SCV ready.
XC.
Additional supply depots required.
Alright, put this behind the bunker.
SCV ready.
And get some more supply. So, supply blocked. So, that means I'm still not doing the build good enough.
Ready for
This
pickup.
better be.
Add on complete. Additional Additional supply
Alright,
depots
research
required.
STEM.
Additional supply
me some of
depots
that.
required.
Ah!
Not enough energy. Additional supply depots required.
Three
Add-on
more.
complete.
Alright.
On my way.
Boost.
SCV ready.
Here's
Make stuff. Make stuff.
Armed and ready.
And get out of there.
well, hello.
Because their army's there.
SCV ready.
Confirmed.
Alright.
SCV
Good
ready.
harassment. We saw Stalkers and Immortals.
Fueled up, ready to go.
So, basic
Ready
build.
for dust off.
Get another
SCV
tank.
ready.
There. I'm gonna send one Marine to the... we haven't learned about scouting yet. Don't scout. We don't know scouting yet. Alright, but it looks like we're about to be good. So 400, so make 2 engineering bays. And 2 supply. Max out again. Maybe
Not
3
enough
supply.
minerals.
Bandit. SCV ready.
Yeah. Alright. Put those on the hotkey. SCV. And let's go ahead and
Not enough
make
minerals.
another command center. Get our army.
Been waiting on. SCV ready.
Build command center.
Roger.
Mineral field depleted.
Alright, let's just leave them there.
Not enough minerals.
Alright, get some minerals.
SCV ready. 10-4.
Scan where his army is. Okay. We're looking like we're in pretty good shape. You
Gonna give me orders?
go over there. Oh, I don't have STEM yet.
Want some?
Woo!
Research.
There we go. There's a STEM. EA. Okay, there's no expansion here.
Waiting on you.
Get down here. Want to know if he has an expansion out. Alright, we do have army back home for defense. In case he counterattacks.
What's going on? SCV ready.
Insufficient
Alright.
Vespine gas.
Boost!
Go, go.
Dump!
Gangway. Coming through.
Oh, dump! Dump! Dump!
SCV ready.
Oh! Okay. Go! You won.
By the number.
Back up.
Ready for dust off.
And get them in the range. They're in the range, so we're good. Make stuff! Make stuff!
Insufficient Vespine gas.
Oh, and run away!
SCV ready.
Okay. We're getting a lot of minerals.
Research complete.
Alright. Get out of here. Alright. Let's go ahead and get round 2.
Ready for dust off.
Orders received.
No, not you guys. Not you guys. Come
Mineral
back.
field depleted.
SCV ready.
You, control 2. Go down here. Be my harassment
Command
unit.
center upgrade complete.
Alright.
Been waiting.
Don't need any more medevacs. I think we got enough medevacs. Alright, and now...
In the rear with the gear. I can't build here.
Upgrade complete.
Got more supply.
I can't build here. Yeah, whatever.
Upgrades are good. Yeah. There, one, 2, there, and build another command center.
Yep. You gonna
Alright.
give me orders? Fueled up, ready to go. This better be good.
Go again! And we actually can stop making SCVs when the third one is fully saturated.
Go, go, go.
Simply because you don't need more SCVs than that.
This better be good. You gonna give me orders? Who wants some?
Alright. Keep making stuff. Get all these. Alright, we're not gonna get supply blocks, but we need to keep our money lower.
Mineral field depleted.
You Got all of our upgrades. Let's get out of here.
This better be good. Who won? Been waiting on you. By the numbers, boys.
Mineral field depleted.
You want a piece of me, boy? Go, go, go.
Mineral field
Yep.
depleted.
Yep.
Add-on complete.
There we go. Now we start getting some money spent.
Add-on complete.
Cool.
Armed and ready.
Add-on
Go.
complete.
You want a piece of me?
Uh-oh. Alright.
Life flight paid.
Go! Let's just dump right there. I don't want to get shot by the cannon, so I dumped a little sooner.
Mineral field
Ready for dust off.
add-on complete.
Alright, and I think we win. This looks like a winning position. Go check up here real quick. Oh, Dark Templar. This is red flag. Red flag. If you see invisible things hitting you, it's because of this. Just in case. I don't know if they're out yet. Get rid of that. Yeah, that's a red flag.
We could use some help here. We could use some help here.
Alright. Yeah, you're getting a lot of stuff now.
So,
Siege tank. There. Still didn't do quite a perfect job keeping our money low, and I think we could have improved on the supply as well. But not a bad game. Not a horrible game. Could definitely be improved. I could definitely use some more practice with this build. Yeah, 32 seconds, so just slightly more than I'd like to be. I had a lot more trouble spinning my minerals than I thought I would. Simply because I think my timings were a little bit late. So because my timings were late, I was a lot later building those extra barracks. So if I wanted to refine this build even more, I'd probably try to get those barracks sooner. Try to figure out more where I'm getting supply capped or where I'm messing up. So I'd start analyzing. At this point, I would start analyzing my replays and trying to see where did I forget my supply, where could I add my supply, and also trying to see where at what point could I add more barracks. And so at this point, I would refine not the first like 3 or 4 minutes, but rather the 7 to 10 minute mark. I would start really analyzing it because I think my 3 or 4 minutes was okay, or at least good for my level. But after that, you can see my minerals started spiking. I got supply blocked, I think, a good once or twice. So you can actually do that. You can analyze your replays, figure out where did your money spike, where could you have placed more barracks, or when could you have placed more barracks sooner, and then had the macro to produce more units when your money spiked. Could you have expanded sooner, or could you add on more command centers? That type of stuff you want to analyze with your replay, and then you want to just fine-tune to the point where you actually can pretty much tell yourself what to build next, at what time, at what seconds, and what goes in what order. And your money usually spikes anyway when you attack, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. As long as you were producing stuff while you were attacking, you're good. As long as you had defense at home while you're attacking, you're good. I wouldn't worry about your money spiking too much when you're attacking, because that just happens. But when you're not attacking, if your money's spiking, then that's a point where you could fine-tune your play a little bit and maybe work on that. So this video, I think, is a good point for you guys to stop and just work on this build where you just take Marines and medevacs, and you can fine-tune it to the point where you're not getting thousands of minerals, you're not getting supply blocked. And once you're at that point, because it'll take a good bit of practice to get to that point, because I was struggling with it too. But once you're at that point, then you could start adding on more like scouting Reapers, or scouting with Reapers, scouting their extra bases with Marines, scouting on the map for hidden bases, learning how to react with certain information, and then start working on how you should adjust your build to different information that you receive, and stuff like that, like how to react to things that you scout. That gets more and more complicated, but makes your play get more and more effective and more fine-tuned, but you can't do that and level up to that level until you get the basics down, which is don't get supply blocked, don't miss your SCV production, keep your resources low, and understand what your main branch build is, and then you start scouting and start getting like little branches here and there about reaction builds. So once you start scouting something out like Dark Templar, like that Silver Tower that I saw, that was Dark Templar. Well, that was invisible units. So once I saw that, I started saving my scans, stop muling, save the scans, use the scans when I attack. Clearly, he didn't have any, and I saw it at the last second, and I happen to have a scan, which is very lucky. But once you see that, you should start screaming red flags, need scans. So you want to learn how to scout stuff, like see stuff and think, okay, red flag, need to do this. Red flag, need to do that. For example, the bunker against Protoss is usually necessary, so they can't just walk across the map and kill you. But against like Zerg and against Terran, you might not need the bunker as long as you're scouting. And as long as you see that they're not coming to attack you, then you're good. Or as long as you see they don't have a certain big army, then you're good. And when you see them start moving out, you can build that bunker and or maybe 2 bunkers. And by the time they get there, the bunkers will be built and loaded. And then you only use the bunkers when you need it, rather than having the bunker there all the time. So scouting can get very important very quickly and can help you fine-tune your build, but you have to do this step first, and then you can start working on that advanced stuff. So hopefully this helps you guys get started. Hopefully this gives you a basic build that you can work with, and then take off from here to many other things, like adding on Marauders to your Marines and Medevacs, adding on Reapers for scouting, and just adding on different types of units for different types of things. Like making Liberators and Vikings instead of, like after you get like 4 to 6 Medevacs, you can make Vikings and Liberators, different things out of the starport. You can change the starport. You can take it off the reactor and put a tech lab on it and maybe make battle cruisers for late game, or Banshees or Ravens or whatever. There's so many different things that this build can branch into. And if you can get these basics down, you can go so many different directions with it. Instead of like the extra 2 barracks, you can build 1 extra barracks and 1 extra factory, and have more tanks. There's so many ways to adjust this basic build. And I can't even begin to tell you how many different directions I can go. But get these basics down. If you can do this, then you can start learning more advanced things and make your game very, very powerful. But again, do this. Don't get supply capped. Don't miss SCV production. So I'm at 71 SCVs. He was at 72. And this was at harder. So I think for silver level players, this is a good number to be at. Don't miss SCV production. Don't miss supply cap. Don't spike your resources. Like I'm still doing that as well. Make an army. Make sure you're spending your money on building an army, and if you can't, then build more structures to build that army. So have a good army composition, a good number of units, and get those upgrades, hit those timings, and I think you guys will be at a very good level for beginners. So I think once you get to like mid to top silver, then you're pretty much out of the beginner range. And I think if these videos helped you get there, I think that these videos were a huge success. That was my intention, was to use these videos to help you guys get the basics down of what you should do as Terran in order to level up pretty kitty to that mid to high silver range, and hopefully, and then from there you can take this and branch off and work your way into gold. As always, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to leave any comments and questions that you have in the comments below, and I'll be happy to answer them as soon as I can, or as soon as I see them, and hopefully other people will answer them as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time.